Hello and welcome to the Boost Over Ball podcast, your go-to source for all things Rocket League, with your hosts, K-Cube, Quilly, and Red. So lean forward, lock in, and get ready to go Boost Over Ball.
Ooh, we're going to be there, dude. This shit's going to be happening live.
A week from tomorrow.
Dude, that's terrifying.
Is when we'll be there, right? But a week from Thursday is when the games start.
We will literally, the boys will be, I was going to ask about that. Are we going to do an episode in person Wednesday, or are we going to try and do a Tuesday night?
I mean, I'm good with either.
The only problem with Wednesday is Red doesn't get until 9.
Yeah, that is tough.
So we wouldn't be recording till late, and you'd be a very quick turnaround time for production there.
It would be.
So that is entirely your decision, but the idea of doing one all together in the same room would be pretty fun. But
I mean, I'm still down to do Tuesday, and then what if we did? Because we could do one live from the Airbnb with literally everybody there.
Before or after?
Yes.
Both. Or both.
I mean, I'm good.
Hana, the audience knows Hana.
Yes, the audience knows Hana. They probably know some of the other people that are going to.
They should probably know Seb.
Yup.
I don't know what the rest of them are in terms of the Rocket League community, but
I don't know. Was Kev Dog saying that he was going or no?
I think he backed out last second.
I think he did.
I think he was one that backed out. I don't know if I want to say everyone a part of this being there. I don't know.
No, I'm not doxing everyone yet.
That's what I'm saying. I don't know where does the term doxing fall?
Yeah, I don't know. Not gonna do that just yet. I'm sure that somebody will stream there and everyone will come say hi, but we'll get it going. But another day in paradise, another day to yap on and do some carball. We're doing good. Oof, how's it going?
Oof, big man. Oof in the chat. Do we have a doc?
Yes.
Oh, I found it. Let me dot the I's, cross the T's.
Oh yeah.
That glitter on my arm. Gotta get us DMCA'd quick.
Oh yeah. Don't want to have.
What a weekend, though.
I know.
What a weekend of the same exact result that you were all expecting. Do you think someone else is winning? Are you crazy?
Yeah, but with that, hello and welcome back to the Boost Over Ball podcast. Listeners new and old, hello and welcome to the show. Thank you so much for tuning in. I'm Kyle, K-Cube in the top left, and in the right, we have Quilly. On today's episode, we got quite a bit to talk about. We'll be talking about the conclusion of Open 3 in NA. The last time we talked to you guys, we knew the top 32, but not the top 16 and not the winner. So we got all of that to catch up on. We now know all of our teams that are heading to Boston. We'll be recapping NA Open 3, talking through the results, giving our thoughts and analysis before checking on our predictions. Then we will be doing our combined Boston Major Power Ranking of the teams that are headed to Boston going into the event. And then next week when we reconvene, we'll do our major preview. We'll talk about the groups. We'll talk about the teams. We'll talk about what we think is going to happen. We'll show our predictions and things like that. So without further ado, are you ready to get started?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Well, we'll kind of run through a lot of the results first, and then we'll kind of, because there's a lot to talk about and to deliberate on, so we'll talk about that towards the end. But our top 16 teams that were headed into the playoff from Group A are Shuffles Kittens, Dignitas, Shopify Rebellion, Foot, NRG, Freedom, Lotus 8, and Foul Merchants. And from Group B, we have Gen G, Space Station Gaming, Redacted, Seal, 90210, United Rogue, which picked up Milky Way, M80, and When You Pat My Head, My Mouth Yawns, and My Shakes. And then our teams from the playoff making it into the top 8 through the upper bracket are Foot, SSG, Redacted, and NRG. Shopify fall to lowers at the hands of Space Station, and United and Gen G fall to lowers to Foot. And then our teams making it through the lower bracket into the top 8 are M80, Shopify Rebellion, Dignitas, and United Rogue. Shout out Talo, Coach Talo for United Rogue. But Gen G going out to Foot and then to Dignitas. Not exactly what I had expected, but moving into our playoff bracket, we have Space Station taking down Foot 4-1. We have Redacted beating NRG in Game 7 overtime 1-0 to move both of those teams into our top 4. And then moving into our lower bracket, we have Shopify eliminating M80 4-2. We have Dignitas eliminating United Rogue 4-2. We then have Shopify sweeping Foot, and we have NRG beating Dignitas in 7. So stop me if you've heard this before. We have Redacted and Shopify in the semifinal, in which Redacted wins in 6. And on the other side of the bracket, we have NRG taking down Space Station in 6 to set up a rematch of the Open 2 Grand Finals, in which NRG is again able to beat Redacted, and this time they win 4-1. So that was a lot of talking. We'll have to, but now that we have all the results out of the way, we can go back and talk about any of the games that happened. What are your kind of first thoughts on the weekend as a whole and where we stand?
I mean, honestly, I'm not gonna lie. I did have an expectation that Redacted was not gonna do nearly as good because, like, they've literally been arguably top 2 in all of North America. So I genuinely thought, like, at some point the wall has to come. They have to hit that wall, and it has to, like, this momentum has to stop. But it didn't. Not in the slightest. They took it all the way to the finals. They gave the work to First Killer, or some would say Fourth Killer. The inevitable of him just crumbling at the biggest moment. Obviously, he did beat them though in at the kickoff lane in the NA regional. So, but no, this team is getting some unreal footing under them. Obviously, they can't. They were able to beat NRG in the earlier rounds, but not when it mattered most. So it's they still have some work to do. Hopefully under a new name. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. But yeah, no, this Redacted team, I cannot fathom like the euphoria they're feeling, or just like the high they're on of like this run of like how great they've been. And it really stinks that they don't have like an org backing them, because they're just right now they're just killing it for the love of the game. And like I really wonder how different things would be, because I'm like 90% sure in Open 1 this is the team that eliminated NRG. Waiting to be told I'm wrong or right.
I can find out. In Open 1 you're talking about?
I didn't know. I was going off the dump. Yes, I'm pretty sure in Open 1 when NRG got eliminated in Swiss, it was them versus Redacted.
NRG was through Swiss. They made it into the bracket, and then they lost to Redacted in the lower bracket, and then got swept by Gen G.
It was Gen G that eliminated them. All right, they lost Redacted on the way. I couldn't remember who it was for the elimination game.
Redacted dropped them to lowers, and then Gen G did the thing.
Yeah. Oh, a little bit more different than I thought it was. Going off pure memory, they did beat them along the way, but I was thinking like if they don't win that series, like what is different with this team, or what happens to this team? Do they still go on this trajectory? I'd like to think they do. Obviously, the talent talk is, and like the way Wavy, dude, the shots that they're just hitting are just insane. It literally just looks like they're freestyling out here. They're just having fun, and it's working. Teams are trying too hard. They're too locked in on like making the appropriate play rather than just feeling the game. And that's kind of how I chalk up this team's play style, is just feeling the game and just understanding their teammates. And by God, did they do that well. It's insane. If they could just get past the edge, because this is the second grand final they've made
against NRG. Yep.
Oh, the first one was against Shopify. Were they in the grand final last and Open 2? Did they make 3 straight?
2 straight.
I thought they made the first one.
No, Space Station Shopify was Open 1. They lost to Shopify in 7.
That one's such a fever dream. Just the
Yeah.
kickoff lane is such a fever dream.
It was so long ago too. It feels like, but Open
Yeah.
number 2, the grand final was also NRG Redacted, but Redacted was able to take 2 games, and then in Open 3, it was 4-1. So
Yeah. NRG still NRGing. What was the stat? They didn't even need to show up for the first lane at all. Their first Open at all. They still would have had the same result.
still got first seed.
They're just that dominant. It's crazy. I really wonder like what happens at that kickoff lane if they make it.
So I mean, we know what would happen.
You think they beat K Corp?
Maybe. Maybe.
I was thinking about the EU versus NA side of it.
I was thinking about the Open because I ran into a stat. Since this iteration of Atomic Beast Mode Dan, since they became a team, first under G2, then under NRG, every single split that they've competed in, they've won 2 out of the 3 Opens, 2 out of the 3 regionals, every single time.
Mm-hmm. They've only swept 1, right?
They've never swept 1.
They've never swept 1.
2 out of 3, 2 out of 3, 2 out of 3, 2 out of 3, 2 out of 3. Because
it's like
because First Killer has stopped it every time.
That's usually before the grand finals though.
Yes, exactly, like in the semifinals. Yep. Because Atomic never won 3 straight. Every time FK has stopped it.
Yeah, I thought they won 3 straight last year, but I'm gonna trust your numbers over my brain.
3 straight, not in the same split though.
Yeah, won the last one, then won again. But,
yep.
Yeah,
mm-hmm.
But no, their dominance has been just so unreal. They literally have a stranglehold on all of NA. That they've just been the 1 seed for literally all of time, for as long as they've been together, pretty much. But yeah, no, this team's unreal. Their results are unreal. They're unstoppable. I really don't know, unless you are literally Carmine Corp themselves. I don't know like what you do to stop this team, because I mean I think Carmine Corp. I know obviously T Bates is saying NRG they won worlds, they have to be number 1, but there's something about Vatira, dude. He just doesn't lose. Like I don't.
He's first until proven otherwise. Like I feel like he has to be at this point.
Like you go into that series against Carmine Corp, you're expecting Carmine Corp to win. I can't remember the last time they weren't a favorite in a series. Even with Juicy on their team now. Even with Juicy.
Maybe first regional for Open for this split. Until they started playing. And then people were like, oh no, they're the same. We're good. They're the same.
No, still Carmine Corp.
Yeah.
But like, still owns Zen.
It's funny to me that, I mean, I was going to say it's funny to me that you mentioned NRG, but like you have to mention them in NA. But like, I feel like they didn't play that good this weekend.
That's literally that, like,
and they still win.
Part. They just like half-ass it. Like you can tell like when this team's firing compared to when it's not, and the fact that they're still winning is not. I don't know if that's a good sign for the rest of NA. Because obviously we looked pretty good in that kickoff lane without NRG to everyone that wasn't named Carmine Corp, because they literally beat everyone not named Carmine Corp. NA was on top there, outside of course, as per mentioned. Freaking Carmine Corp. God dang it.
Yeah.
They're just literally the Thanos of all Thanos. They're just so inevitable. All right, I probably should save this for the end, actually. I have a question that I'm going to have to remember.
Write it in the doc.
I'm going.
But
that's what I'm doing right as we speak.
Because I was going to talk about it. So NRG dropped a game to Little Step Bros. They go to 5 with Unreal Nightmare. They lose in 5 to Dignitas, and then they sweep 1. Right, and then you move into the bracket, and they go to 5 with Seal. They go to 5 with Shuffle's Kittens. You're like, okay, they're making it through. They're making it through. Like they don't look good, but like once we get to the playoff bracket, once we get to the weekend, that's when they usually turn it on, right? Like that's when they do their thing. And then they drop in game 7 overtime to Redacted, and you're thinking, is this like, are we gonna have an issue where NRG, isn't in control of their own destiny? Like, are we going to need like some other things to go right for them? But they're able to take down Dignitas in 7. And then they kind of started to turn it on a little bit. They're able to beat SSG in 6, and then they get to the grand finals. And other than game 3, it was a pretty low scoring affair, and they're able to do what they need to do. And they looked the better team in the grand finals. They were, freestyling a little bit. doing some crazy stuff that they normally do. But it's crazy that like even on a bad weekend, seemingly, right, they can still win. They still show up. Like the talent is still so immense and so concentrated in one team that they can just do it. So, I mean, it's certainly interesting to see, but I don't know if you feel the same way.
Oh no, definitely. I think there is a telltale sign to know if NRG is firing on all cylinders or not. And it's if they're going for pre-jumps off the ceiling, pre-jump passes off the ceiling. As soon as I see that, I know this team's firing on all cylinders, and you should be terrified for your life. Because usually it's either Daniel or Beast Mode just coming flying, and the ball. You just see the camera cuts to them, and the ball's just coming up. It's like, oh, they're doing this on purpose. This is just a crazy read. As soon as I see that, I know this team's firing. Outside of that, like, it's just regular NRG, which is still, as we see, the most dominant team in all of NA.
Yeah, you said in the Discord on Sunday during that match, like, oh, they're coming off the ceiling with the redirects. It's over. It's like, yeah, that seems all right. But like,
as soon as I see that, the game's over. It's throw the white towel or throw the flag in.
But I mean, like, and it kind of shows for me at least the talent, right? Because like, I mean, we've been talking about Beast Mode. We know Beast Mode. People know Beast Mode. Atomic's been getting his flowers recently, especially during their World Championship run with just how good he's been. But I really feel like Daniel stole the show on Championship Sunday this weekend. Like, I think that Daniel played phenomenally. He did everything that they would have asked him to do.
What? And he had his webcam on.
Yeah.
Oh my God. We had to see some personality out of Daniel.
Oh my God.
I trigger the banana head thing?
No. I was.
Did you see the?
Yeah. Yep.
The banana head CJ conversation?
Yep. I was actually going to bring that up.
I was watching the Chalkcast today. That was just a funny sequence of events.
So I was thinking about that earlier when I was at work, and I was like, oh, I should write that down. I want to remember, to talk about the webcam stuff, in the episode. And then I went to make the doc and completely forgot about it. And that just reminded me. But before we continue talking about the rest of, our thoughts for Open number 3 for NA, let's look at our predictions. So both of us went 12 for 16. We missed 4 total. 2 from each group, which is pretty good. But we both missed Foul Merchants and Freedom from Group A. We both missed 90210 and When You Pat My Head, My Mouth Yawns, and My Shakes from Group B. So I feel like we both did pretty well. We both, had 6 of the same teams correct for every group. But, I'll take that.
We're straight betting. Those are good odds for us. That's green right there. That's green money right there.
Oh yeah, but I have a couple of questions here that I want to bring back and like talk about it. I talked about the fact that NRG has won 2 out of 3 majors in every single split since the team formed. Like, I think we talked about the fact that they're not quite in World Championship form yet, but they did enough. Right, they won 2 regionals, and they looked fantastic in Open number 2 doing it, and looked a little bit shaky in Open number 3. But again, they get the job done. They take the number 1 seed. So, do you think they're back after missing Open 1, or do you think there's still more to do for them?
Shopify,
NRG.
NRG. Sorry, I was reading the doc. I keep seeing FK.
Yep, sorry.
It's hard to say. I mean, obviously, you'd like to say they're back because they won 2 straight. Like, not only did they win 2 straight, they won 2 straight relatively with ease, outside of like I think 1 loss in the uppers to Redacted, and Redacted obviously is a more than respectable team to lose to at this point. But no, I think they are the NRG that we are expecting to see. I think they just exude confidence, and all they do is win. And until proven otherwise, I'd like to see, as much as I'd hate the matchup, I'd like to see them beat Carmine Corp in the finals to like get that theoretical monkey off the back. Because obviously at Worlds they beat the Falcons at the grand finals, and it wasn't Carmine Corp, but obviously Falcons had to beat Carmine Corp to get there, so it's like but obviously if you beat Carmine Corp in the finals,
it's Worlds, yeah.
Yeah, if you beat Karma Corp in the finals, like you won the champ. That literally is like the Super Bowl. It's like that's like the perfect way to win a grand finals is to beat Carmine Corp in the finals.
Yeah.
Unfortunately,
it doesn't always happen.
unless you're in open number 3 of the split, it's not likely you're gonna win. Because I think last year and this year, the only times they lost championship opens was in the third.
Yes.
That's the only time they ever lose is the third open of a split.
Yeah. My next question, and I do want to get out ahead of it. Like I rag on First Killer a lot on the podcast, especially. I don't dislike First Killer the human being. I don't dislike First Killer the player. He's phenomenal. I dislike the First Killer. First Killer is the NA GOAT. First Killer is the best in NA. I don't think he is because he doesn't have the LAN experience. He doesn't have the results to back it up. Right? So like the biggest win that they've had recently is their open number 1 win, technically in person, but not really a LAN because it's still a regional open, and they were not able to follow up that performance at the kickoff LAN. But I don't want to say I feel bad for bringing like some of the hate, but until he proves that he can show up like in the biggest moments, I think that you have to continue to be a little bit cautious when talking about First Killer, right? So is he one of the best like mechanically gifted Rocket League players currently? Yeah, I would say he's top 5 for sure. Especially if you're talking about just NA, then I think he's definitely top 5. But does he have the results to back up the overall status in terms of RLCS? No, I don't think so.
Yeah, the parallels to him and Zen outside of the complete sweep of Elaine events is like unreal. Like it's everyone's fault but theirs because they're just that great of a player. And you just see the hero that same thing that comes up every time. The hero ball they just turn it on to 1,000,000 and they don't win. And it's at that point there's no one you could really look to blame but them. But yeah, I don't know. I think it really sucks that 3 of the 4 top players in NA are all on the same team, so we'll never truly know if First Killer is capable with the top talent like NRG has. He kind of just has to assemble like whatever's left. I think I said it in the chat also. Like I really wonder what happens if like I don't know why First Killer doesn't go to Vitality. It's obviously going to suck out to play Carmine Court, but having Zen as your teammate, I know moving to Europe probably would suck beyond belief, but by God, what they would do together is just like you can't even fathom. Like, is it either going to be the greatest thing ever or the worst? And there's no in between. But I really wish we got to see that team up as much as it would have sucked to have one of our best players go over to EU.
But I mean, like, so part of it is we're probably too early. I'm probably jumping the gun on this, but the question is this a make or break major for First Killer? Right? Are we going to see Fourth Killer return again? Are we going to see them break through it all? This is the most talented iteration of roster that he's had. I think Kofor is a fantastic player. I think, once upon a time we were talking about, is LJ the next Daniel? Right? Is he the next, like, is he the Kirkland brand Daniel? We haven't seen it recently, in my opinion. But, I am intrigued to see what happens here, and they would have had English comms if he went to Vitality. Zen's English is very good. But I feel like he's got to show up now. Otherwise, it's going to be an entire season of the same thing, playing second fiddle to NRG.
Yeah. Depends on what you say by is it make or break. It depends on where the bar is set. Because like if you're saying win or bust, then I feel like that's a really high bar to set. I think if he makes top 4 at this LAN, you kind of can't argue with that result because that's a great result, especially with how stacked beyond belief this LAN is. I think he's going to get a little bit of help from the groups that we'll talk. I'm assuming we're talking about the groups later.
Next week.
All right, we'll talk about the groups later. He's going to get a little bit of help because some of the top dogs will not be making it to the actual in-person events. crowd days, because god damn are those two of those groups terrifying. But so I think if he at least makes top 4, he kind of can't really argue with that. But in terms of makeup, if he misses group stages, or if they lose out in group stages, then it's gonna do a toll. I don't know, because obviously we know in Raleigh last year they didn't even make. Literally only one NA team made it out of the Swiss. So I think
I was gonna say, if he doesn't win a LAN this season, right? So no major, no worlds. Do you think he has to Do you think he has to move? Like the region
move
change,
regions,
do something? Because I mean, as long as NRG, I would say, as long as NRG is consistently finishing top 4 in competitions, like they'll stick together.
Yeah, but I mean, what is switching regions going to do? Because you're still going to have to play all these people regardless. He'd have to find a better team, and I don't know how you're going to find a better team. Like, he didn't take Vitality up on that. It's like, I don't know what you're going to find better than Zen. Unless Vitality brings Drolly in somehow.
We've talked about it before, but I think that Zen and First Killer are both incredible players, but I think that they function the best if they're not the focal point of the team.
Yeah, and
when Vitality won Worlds, Radosin and Alpha were having themselves a tournament, and so that I think that tournament performance still gets Radosin signed to orgs currently. But
yeah, so it's just so hard to. I don't want to say yes, but it really depends on the performance, because obviously if his teammates are lacking, there's not really much you can do there. But we're seeing First Killer Hero Ball, we're seeing because again, circling back to that Raleigh lane, that performance by First Killer specifically in that Raleigh lane,
unparalleled,
was atrocious. What you're saying? Great.
Single-handedly, he almost won the series. And the individual performance was incredible. However, the individual performance, I think, is the reason that they lost.
That's what I'm saying. The hero ball, it's horrible to see, him just doing everything and not involving. It's a threes match, 3v3. You're not winning that by yourself. No matter how great you are, you're not winning that by yourself. So that's why I said atrocious, because on paper, wow, pretty numbers, cool shots. Yeah. That's what I'm watching him coincide with those his teammates. I'd imagine they were probably pissed playing with him during that.
Yeah.
But I mean, they were also the other downside to it. It looked like these two teammates were playing god awful.
Yes.
So we don't know if they were playing awful and he picked up the pace, or if he picked up the pace and they played awful by product of it. It could go either way.
Yeah, because it's on the same token, it's you don't know if his teammates are saying, "I can't go, you go." Just cut. You're playing better than us. Just go.
Or he just keeps saying, I go. You really don't know. So it's really just as long as it's not a very obvious bad performance. But I think having Kofor is gonna. I really have faith that they're gonna win a LAN this season.
So and that's my thing, right? Because that's what it's the same thing. And I'm going to use the Lions or the Packers or the Cowboys, right? This year's our year. Next year's our year. Next year's always our year. It seems like it's kind of the same. Next year's First Killer's year. He's going to win a LAN. Next year's his year. And it just hasn't happened. So would it be great for the scene and for First Killer? 100% it would. But until it happens, I don't think I'll ever predict it or think that it will.
You know what I think this is actually?
What?
We are beating the shit out of this dead horse.
Yes,
I feel like this is the only thing we ever talk about with First Killer.
Yes, it is.
I'm you using that analogy of this is our year. That's a perfect analogy.
What's
because it's literally.
Yeah, go ahead.
When if not now, when?
Yeah.
If not now, when? Next series, next major. If not now, when? But I feel like it's the same rinse repeat about him, and I don't know what it's going to take to get that finally get that win.
That's why I was so we were, I think both all three of us were pretty critical of the Shopify Rebellion teaming, right? We Kofor pickup, awesome, that's great. Why did you stay with LJ? Because we were this is just last year. It's First Killer, LJ, the best third that they can find. Last year was Chronic. This year's LJ. So it's FK, LJ, and a third take on NRG. FK Energy or FK First Killer, FK, LJ, and a third take on NRG. Just Electric Boogaloo, right? Like, we're just doing the same things over and over again. So, like, I maybe he's got to split up from LJ. Like, I mean, you see, like, Life and Mech playing incredibly with Noli. You can't tell me if you dropped First Killer with Mech and Life that they would do any worse than Shopify would right now. And the upside on Mech and Life are insane. You called Life out, last season at LCQ. You're like, "What? This kid's moving different. Watch out!" And here he is. They almost made a top 6. They almost beat Shopify. I mean, they lost in 6, but they put up a good fight. Like, they, game 5, game 6 are both overtime games. Like, they're close.
They actually had to win twice that series.
Yeah.
They made First Killer win twice on Neo Tokyo. A war crime.
But I mean, you look at Dignitas with Bora. I mean, that was a signing that no one saw coming. But you can't tell me that if you put Bora instead of LJ that they do worse.
I'm expecting a huge shakeup in the region though after this. I'm expecting like something crazy because like Bora, his emergence, the 2 young kids on M80 and Mech and Life, and then just all of Redacted not being on a team. I feel like, and then obviously Gen G might just implode.
So that actually brings me up into our next point. So what is next for Gen G? So because Rise came over and played the first split in NA, he has to play the second split in NA also. So he will stay. So the team currently, as we know, is Justin, Magic Bear, Rise. So I would imagine that Rise is going to stay because they've contracted and they have his visa. He's there for the year. So then is Justin going to retire? That's something that's been talked about before. Is he going to stick around and Magic Bear is the one to leave? Magic Bear's been kind of underwhelming recently in the playoffs at least. So then it's like, okay, so what do you do now? Do you try and pull some people? Like, do you try and pull a Bora from Dignitas? Like, because if the org-backed teams stay the org-backed teams, that doesn't really leave you a whole lot, right? Because you figure if Redacted is making a major, they're not making a change, right? They're going to stick with it because they almost, they were almost the top seed in NA. So it's like, are you grabbing someone from Seal or from 90210? So it's like, where do you go from here? Unless, we're just kind of doing a switcheroo, right? Like, Space Station. It's going to be interesting. I think you're right. I think something very major has to happen in order for things to shake out because we have Foot, Gen G, Dignitas, M80, all and Lotus 8 all not making it, right? And all potentially wanting to do something to increase their odds. So
yeah, I think this break between is going to be free agency frenzy. Red's roster rumors are going to be putting up LeBron numbers.
Oh yeah. But then the next question I got from here is Redacted the second best team in NA? What do you think? With back-to-back top 2 finishes, where does that leave them? And beating Shopify twice.
I still give Shopify the number 2 seed just purely from talent alone. As cool as talk is to watch him play, as fun as Wavy is, as calm and collected as 2 pieces, you still can't deny First Killer, even if he is the 4th man himself. Yeah, I'm still giving it to Shopify regardless. Man, some team, because I feel like something about that comment, as much as everyone has said how fun it was, when they said when NRG's playing like that, there's nothing you can do about that. I don't feel like it's a good mentality to have. I feel like even if they're peaking, you got to have some sort of fight, a dog in the fight.
I would agree.
So I think it's a little bit up in the air. I really think it's closer than obviously it was started season.
Yeah,
but I'd still give it to
Shop.
Yeah.
Okay.
That might be biased.
Fair. I mean, they have First Killer, right? Who is arguably one of the top 4, top 5 players in NA, year in, year out, even if it's not, just by talent alone. But the last question I kind of have is, do you think the 4 best teams from NA are going to Boston? Do you think the 4 best teams qualified?
Without a doubt.
I think this is one of the first events where I can confidently say the 4 best teams are the 4 teams that are going.
I think we said that last year too, at one of them.
Maybe I'm just happier with the 4 then, because last year we said, I
think we did say that going into either Raleigh or Worlds. I don't remember which. I think it might have been Worlds.
That we liked the Raleigh. 4 that were going?
I think it was Gen G, SSG, Ultimates, NRG.
I think it was, because I think the first major we had Shuffles Kittens. No.
Making? Shuffles Kittens did not make a land.
No.
Complexity was in the first one.
Yes.
Complexity was the 4th seed.
Yeah, because we had Gen G. Oh, Gen G. Gen G, NRG, SSG were the 4 that made it to Raleigh, and we were like, I don't know about that one. And then promptly Space Station and Gen G and the Ultimates all didn't make a top 8, so that was tough.
Bad.
Tough. But
I can't remember. Dude, I just remember the tension in the air watching the Ultimates walk away after losing to Team Secret.
Yeah, that was bad.
It was so rough.
It's even worse because we were sitting next to the manager for Secret, and we were cheering for
was
Secret.
It Vinny?
Yeah, it was Vinny, because he was so hype about it, and I was like, man, this would be for the plot. This is crazy.
I mean, it was.
It was.
But then just First Killer and the other two, Chronic and LJ, just come walking in, and just look so depressed. It's
yeah, no kidding. But gotta grab something.
I'm assuming you think this is the best 4 we have?
Yes, I do. Also, do you the next topic we have, and we're going to talk about player webcams. But do you want to talk about the Banana Head CJ stuff? I gotta grab something real quick.
I can talk about what I know about it. I know there was one tweet. I don't remember who put out the tweet. I think it was an ex-pro player, but just someone in the scene that said that the fact that the cam should be mandatory, and that opened up a whole discussion on X this past weekend on if webcam should be mandatory in the main event. Because watching old, I think they said they were watching old highlights and clips, and all of them, there's a webcam. You can see the emotion, the reactions. You can see everything of every player that's on the field, and that adds to the lore, adds to the clip. It adds just character and story elements to the highlights and all of the series, regardless. So players just choosing to not have their webcams on, it kind of takes away from it, because it's just a blank picture, and it's just ooh. Especially if the whole team doesn't do it, then they're just showing it just because it's the display, or because it's the graphic they have, and it just looks rough. So long discussion. I don't have the exact Banana Head comments, but it went along the lines of, hey, you should do webcams. And then Banana Head or CJ saying, hey, you should really do webcams. We're trying to promote this better. And Banana Head saying, fuck off. I believe that was a direct quote actually at one point. Fuck off. But he said he started using excuses like, my phone doesn't work. I play shirtless. I need to play shirtless. I cannot play with a shirt on. I don't care. Can I just show a picture of myself? Yeah, it went down a whole tangent of just him just refusing to in all facets. And yeah, but it definitely opened up a big discussion on should webcams be mandatory, or at least start finding players if they don't use them, not withholding all funds, just finding the teams if they all 3 players don't have the webcams, which I think is quite reasonable. But playing devil's advocate, now that the minimum age to play in RLCS is 13 years old, I guess that's kind of like a slippery slope because like it's kind of hard to argue with a 13-year-old that they need to be on a webcam. Like that's a child. There's not really much you could do about that. Um, so it's a little bit of a sticky situation there. But outside of that, I mean, like they sign up to have their likeness and everything a part of RLCS. Like RLCS gets to use their name imaging, and they're expected to have their webcam on. They could just make an excuse or just I don't know if they could choose not to put it on at all. If they get a say, or they just make an excuse, be like, not working. But yeah, it's definitely opened a whole discussion. I'm in favor of it because, like I said, the clips, it really adds to it. We got to see, as little as the emotion was, we got to see something from Daniel. We got to see he'd go up in the air, he'd lean forward a little bit. He gets scored on, he'd just like look dead still. But yeah, it just adds a little bit of character to it, and you can't argue with that. Yeah, so I'm in favor of the idea.
Did you see what Johnny Boy had tweeted about that?
I did not.
He said that they should take away a portion of the prize money if you don't have your webcam on.
But the only thing that I think would stink with that is that obviously it gets split 3 ways. So you just have to deduct from the total pool. Is that if 2 players do it and one doesn't, are they going to deduct from just that player's cut, or are they just going to split from the entirety of what they make? Because then they're going to start causing problems if you're taking money out of someone else's pocket as well.
Yeah, I mean, I agree, but like, I mean, it doesn't like it's different if you. It's different for the in-person events because they can use their fancy webcams that has, and all the players have to use it. And I think it adds a lot to the broadcast for that. Like I'm sure that you mentioned, but like I saw an argument like, oh, just like Blast should be paying for the webcams for everyone. And I'm like, they don't know who the top 16 are going to be. The top 8 are going to be every time. They're not buying
Amazon overnight a webcam to some kid's house.
Yeah, they're not doing that because then they'd have to give out addresses. They'd have to know all that stuff. But like, I mean, anybody who's making top 32 is making at least $100. Go out and buy your team, 3 $20 webcams. Like, they don't have to be perfect. It just adds to the immersion. Your phone too. Yeah, I mean, it adds to the immersion. It shows the human element of the esport. It shows the reactions. Like that's why I think that at FIFA E the heart rate monitor is such a cool addition. Like I'm in favor for more of that.
Abjack almost die.
And then beast mode be like at 50 BPM. Like, well, Abjack's at like 180. It's like it's crazy.
My devil's advocate is that now that the floor for age is at 13, it gets a little bit iffy. 14. But obviously, you have to. I think it's down to 13.
Unless they changed it recently, because that's what it is for Fortnite. Is FNCS is 14.
I thought it was down to 13, but I mean, it gets a little tricky. But obviously, they're signing up with a parent's permission, so they know what they're signing up for. So it's kind of hard to argue in their defense, but also it's still a kid at the end of the day. So I feel weird, like trying to force a kid to do something, like be like, hey, yeah, set up the webcam, or else.
You are correct. It is 13.
Yeah. So that's the only problem that I'd see is like making a 13-year-old set up a webcam and put it on himself, but also like you're signing up for this. When you make main event, you have to sign a disclosure and like you're agreeing to give your likeness to RLCS. So I feel like it's goes hand in hand that you should have a webcam on, whether whether you don't like if you don't like playing with a webcam on or like it affects your play. How are you going to function on a LAN?
You're not.
Or like the argument CJ was having with Banana Head, where he's saying, I don't want to, I play shirtless, I need my nipples out. You can't do that on a LAN, so that excuse doesn't work here.
And I mean, also, like, you can webcam it, like, and I'm going to do it in Twitch, so sorry for our audio listeners, but, like, I'm going to cut off, like, like my neck and everything below, right? You can position the webcam so it's, like, just your head.
CJ did say that. He said Banana Head asked if they could do that. Blast turned down that idea. Because he said, can I go shirtless and you just cut it from my neck up? And Blast said no.
Oh, well. But
that was a part of the long argument.
Yeah, I'm sure that this is going to be an ongoing conversation to have because I think most people are in agreement that it just kind of adds so much to the RLCS broadcast and to the immersion and experience. But I think that for now that's kind of all the points that we have. But anything else that you want to mention about the face cams?
Mm-mm.
Okay. Next up is less of a topic, more of a just kind of a talking point, and that is Jinxie FC. So during his watch party for Open number 3, and again, he continues to outperform the main RLCS broadcast. The grand finals numbers, Jinxie was streaming to 40K on Twitch, and RLCS was streaming to 28K, and on YouTube, Jinxie was streaming to 17K, and RLCS was streaming to 12K. So grand total of 40K for Twitch and YouTube for RLCS, and Jinxie was at 57K. So he continues to be the figure in the Rocket League scene right now. And he mentioned while talking to Squishy that he like I'd sign Redacted for the Boston Major. Let's do it. And after the event was, or after Saturday, Wavy was in Jinxie's chat. He was like, "Yo, Wavy, check DMs," and said, "Hey, we'd love to sign you for the Boston, for this event in Boston Major." And Redacted said that they wanted to keep their options open for now and focus on the event at hand. But that was sent during the Open number 3 weekend, so I don't know if it will still happen now that the event is over. If they don't get any kind of org representation before Boston, maybe this is something they think about, like something just like a quick, week-long contract or whatever with Jinxie. That would be amazing to see, and we will continue to keep you all updated if we hear anything more about that, and if we see Jinxie in Boston. I'm sure we'll talk about that too.
So, do we have any confirmation if he's going or not? I know he said he wants to. I know he wants to stream it regardless. It just matters where he's going to stream it. I think if he says he wants to stream it in Boston and RLCS doesn't accommodate, I think it might be a little bit hard to accommodate because they usually put streamers on the floor. So I don't know how well that's going to work because I think crowds would just gather around where Jinxie is and just be a problem. And I think, honestly, he'd be in danger of having stuff thrown at him possibly. That's like one of the big problems I see. But outside of that, like, his presence in the game is just awesome to see, and just awesome to see all the new life it brings. Did you see what happened with the problems with Clash Royale today?
Not specifically.
They had a what's the word called, an article written on them, and the growth that they've had, and then they said, yeah, we've seen a 500% growth in like new players, and they just chalked it up to how great the team that they have has been, and like the development of the game, and the fact that it just randomly 10 years in got new life, and did not make a single mention of Jinxie once. And if they think for a chance that Jinxie had nothing to do with that, or wasn't quite literally the whole reason behind that, like not even just whisper his name in the article, is beyond insane to me. And he even tweeted like it hurt, or it like sucked to see that, because like he literally revived that game. It's the second game he's revived. Going for number 3 with Rocket League. Hopefully, we're seeing obviously a growth. But I don't think Rocket League's having as big of a growth as comparison to like literally the Rainbow Sixes and Clash Royale levels. But I mean, anything is better than what we were at. So what he's done for the game, like he's literally pulling higher numbers of just him watching events than the actual event. So that's how we know he's doing a whole lot more than nothing, doing better than we had before. So I'm just hoping that Rocket League doesn't make the same mistake. I know they're at least in his chat and talking to him and giving out codes. So I don't think Clash Royale did anything like that, but I wasn't as involved with the Clash Royale stuff, so I don't fully know. But from what I see, I'm hoping Rocket League doesn't fumble the bag or fumble this and just burn one of the biggest bridges we've got.
For sure. But with that, let's do our Boston Major power rankings.
Oh, oof.
You want to take number 1, or you want me to go number 1?
I'm trying to find where I could find like the whole list of teams.
I just went to the Boston Major Wikipedia page, and that'll have that has all the teams on it.
Find it. Okay. I'm on Boston Open 3. I don't know how to
just
get to
click
Boston.
Boston Major and then Major. I can send you the link if you want.
Boston Major. There we go. Corp. I'll take the easy one. Carmine Corby. I'm putting NRG maybe World Championships. Falcons maybe firing on all cylinders, but if you're pitting up any of those three teams against each other, you're picking Carmine Corp.
Yeah,
You're putting you have a life savings to put down. You're putting it on Carmine Corp.
I would agree. No arguments from me here. So then that makes my job easy because NRG's too.
Yeah. Sorry, oof.
Yeah, they're reigning world champions. They've won 2 regionals in a row. They're starting to look back themselves, and once they get back on land in front of the home crowd, I think that they will continue to show their good performances.
Yeah, and then I think it's pretty safe to say, but to throw in number 3, I think Power. I'm just kidding. Team Falcons.
Whoa. Not TM Falcons.
No. You got to give it to Falcons. TM lost to an org, but a lesser org. I can't remember the name of it off the top of the head, but they didn't even make it to the finals. And the one before that, they lost to the Falcons. They are obviously, you're expecting a lot, but as I mentioned last week, I think Nobu, you can get in his head. So it's definitely Falcons for how they've been looking.
Okay. I'm gonna go. They've not done well on lands historically.
Are you thinking
Mates?
Oof. They're just like such a hot and cold team. It's so confusing.
I'm still going Mates. The pop-up potential is there. Oski and Nas look awesome. Archie has been a great addition to that team. When they look good, but when they look bad, it's real bad. We've talked about that before, but I haven't seen enough from Vitality to think that they're more than just a bubble playoff team or a first round exit from playoffs. So I will go Mates.
Mm-hmm. Oh, this leaves me in a tricky situation. I'm between 2 teams.
Is one of them Furia? No.
Furia. You think I'm putting Furia? They're not even the number 1 seed in their own region. I'm between an EU team and a MENA team.
Is it NIP?
No.
It's Vitality or GK. It's got to be for you. It's got to be GK.
It's between Vitality and Twisted Mind. It is. You can't doubt Zen, but that Twisted Mind roster looks real good. But those last performances were a little rough. Give it Twisted. I'm just going to give it Twisted Mind.
I was going to say there's no way you put an exotic team.
I mean, if I'm picking the next one, I'm putting Vitality right after it, but I will put Twisted Mind just because TRK. It's hard to see TRK. Nobu, obviously, but it's hard to see a TRK name there and not want to put it as high as possible.
No, I'm with you, and I think that roster underperformed in the past 2 opens in MENA, but for all the reasons that you said, I'm going Vitality at 6. I think that they're just, even though they're not a top end team, they're still one of the best in the world. They still have Zen. They still have Stizzy, who has played well, but it just doesn't do enough for me to put him any higher than 6th.
Yeah. Following it up, let's put Shopify. Finally, another NA team. Wow, what a gap. What a large gap. We went from 2 all the way to 7. But yeah, Shopify, you kind of can't argue with them. Actually, I keep burping, dude. You can argue with him very easily. The 4th killer is real, but I believe in him regardless. I don't, for better or for worse. It's a hill I die on, and by God, do I keep getting killed on this hill. But yeah, no, I believe in this roster. Cause just Kofor and First Killer, I think are going to mesh so well, and we saw just how well Kofor did on that last LAN in Worlds, and then we saw how he performed at the kickoff LAN. They won the NA Open 1 and then went all the way to the finals. So yeah, I can't doubt this team. And I have, honestly, I believe in them winning. I don't know if it's gonna be this lane, but I keep saying Shopify is gonna win a lane this year.
Okay. So next in that 8th spot, it comes down to me, a team from NA and a team from EU. I am pretty high on Redacted. I think that they're a very good team. However, I think that the lack of normal, conventional, major, like LAN experience, is kind of the tiebreaker here, right? Like this is going to be Talk's first regular LAN. I mean, Wavy went to the LCQ, same with Two Piece, but that's not the same thing. So for that reason, in the 8th spot, I'm going to go Ninjas in Pajamas. I think that the experience of Oli, CRR, and Joria's kind of pushes them over the edge. I think that they've been playing very, very well, and I think that they will continue that here.
All right, and with that, I will follow it up by putting Redacted on this list. The young guns, the unproven beast. We'll see what they're capable of, and if they could even make it. Trying to think of their group. Obviously, we can't say what their group is specifically, because we're not talking about it yet. But
it seems
they're
doable.
It's not the best situation.
No, but it's not Group C. So,
but yeah, no. We'll see what they do on a LAN. They're fun. Hopefully they can keep this attitude. The only thing I think I'm worried about is Wavy's not going to have that bed to jump onto after. So, be careful for tables in the vicinity if they win the series. He may go flying through one.
Yeah. I didn't know he was secretly Bill's Mafia, but we'll have to see on that one. In this next spot, I think it's a little bit too long. They had a bad season last season, but I think that they, certainly can't possibly do as worse as they did then. So in the number 10 spot, I have Furia. I think that the team is just too talented and too good to be that bad. They took the coach from Secret, who helped Secret run to a great result in Boston. They also took the best player from Secret in Swift. So we shall see, as KV1 is not even going to be with Secret anymore. So we can see that was potentially the right move for Furia.
Yeah, to follow it up, it's crazy that with the team on paper that they fell this far, but as I'll talk about, GK is falling into the number 11 spot. On paper, Joyo, Abjack, Seiko, what a roster, and to be coached by Ixo. Yep. Get onset dyslexia all the time. Obviously, this team on paper is great, but the way they've performed against all of the top dog teams has just not been anything near great. And they obviously only made it in through a tiebreaker and by EU getting a 5 seed. That was they literally had two of the biggest Hail Mary clutches to make this in. Carmine Corp giving them a 5 seed and winning that tiebreaker. So the fact that they're even here is luck in and of itself. So as much as I love rooting for this team, because Troyo and Seiko are two of my favorite players, they just haven't been able to put it together. So it's hard to really, truly put my faith in them to put them any higher, as much as I would love to.
I still don't know how they made a grand final in EU this season, this split so far. Like, I don't understand.
How they haven't?
How they did.
Oh, which they make the second one?
Yeah.
Oh,
it's very weird. Oh,
you saw how it went. Didn't they got swept, didn't they?
Yep.
It's
not great, but they made it.
Joyo and the Power of Friendship is just randomly the greatest thing of all time.
Yeah, I guess. But rounding out our two major regions here, I'm going to take Space Station in this 12th spot. I think that they're a good team. I think that Chronic and Chronic's experience here will help kind of the younger team. I think Diaz is really, really starting to come on as a great threes player. I think it took him a little bit of time, like we all expected, coming from ones, but he has looked fantastic. X-Bears kind of got this team firing. But yeah, no, I would agree that they have a very, very, very high ceiling and a very low floor, right? So they could be amazing and they could be horrible. So I think that's why we biasly put them so low. But then that kind of, this is starting to get a little bit easier in my opinion in terms of the teams that are going to kind of be taking up the bottom of the list here. But who do you have in this 13th spot?
I mean, one of them is obviously going in the last spot. One of them we know is not coming up.
Yep. So
I think the other three are neck and neck.
We have MIBR, Power, Project Delacruz, and 5 Fears left.
And it's really what top player you believe in the most. Bull, Sphinx. Who would you say the best player on Power is?
Super lucky.
Yeah.
Or the Spaniard playing in SSA.
Or the Spaniard playing. Well, that 5 years is not even close to being my guess. Not even close. Not even the ballpark of it. But it's really honestly it's between MIBR and De La Cruz for me.
Whoa. Okay.
Give me Project De La Cruz.
Wow.
I just Sphinx and Catalysm, dude. If they pull off that psycho pass pre-jump double on the land, dude, it's gonna be insane.
Okay. Well, if you're
Seeing what that team's capable of, I think they're respectable and can very well be the 13s in this power rankings.
Well, if you're gonna go Project De La Cruz at 13, I have to go MIBR. That's way too low for the Bull. The Bull made an LCQ. The Bull is back on LAN. I'm not as confident in his teammates as I am with Furia, but I think that they can't be lower than this, right? Like, I like the power roster more than, like, I think that ranking them this low is kind of asking for some trouble, but based on the group system, I don't think they're making it out of the groups. So I think that this is a good spot for MIBR.
That's fair. And to follow it up, Power, pretty simple. They were able to take that. They were able to take down the top 6 worlds team, dude.
Yeah, they beat Wildcard.
I do obviously the. I'll still say maybe the matchups favored them a little bit, but they definitely weren't no slouches that they went against. But yeah, the wildcard team definitely got a top 6 in worlds. But yeah, Power. Yeah, I mean, it's literally between them and 5 years, and the team that dominated the 5 years team did not win anything in RLCS. Quite literally, not even a series. Sorry, Harmonic. But yeah, so I'm not going to be picking the 5 years team over Power.
Yeah, and with that, in the last spot we have 5 years for all the reasons that you mentioned. But nevertheless, still a great experience for Snowy and Guns to be able to get some LAN experience and head to an RLCS event. But to recap, in first, Carmine Core, NRG, Falcons, Gentlemates, and Twisted Minds rounding out the top 5. 6th is Vitality, Shopify Rebellion, Ninjas in Pajamas, Redacted, and Furia in 10th. GK, Space Station Gaming, Project De La Cruz, MIBR, and Power in 15th. And in last place in 16th, we have 5 Fears. So I think that's a pretty good power ranking. You'll have to let us know either on Twitter, in the Discord, in Twitch chat, how we did, what you guys think of our power rankings here. But I think we did a very good job of not taking content from ourselves for next week when we do our major preview. But is there anything else you wanted to add on the power rankings before we do our Quilly question?
No.
Okay.
Long live the Bull.
Long live the Bull. So you got your question all teed up?
Mm-hmm. So, and what we were talking about before, obviously the Vatira and Zen matchup. Zen's always, the Vatira's always just winning against Zen, and Zen's always, his teammates aren't good enough.
Okay.
If they switch positions, Zen goes to Carmine Corp, Vatira goes to Vitality. Do you think Vatira still remains dominant, or does Carmine Corp with Zen remain the top dog?
Carmine Corp with Zen remains the top dog, but I think Vatira will still do very well. Vatira's a fantastic.
Do you think he does better than Zen is doing on Vitality currently?
No, probably about the same. I think that the structure and the coaching is superior for Carmine Corp now. We saw what Farah did as coach with Zen. He won a world championship. And similarly to what happened when Exotic won World's MVP, he peaked in that series. Same with Radosin when Zen won the World Championship. So, it kind of seems like it's a little bit of a similar situation, but I think that the structure and the coaching is the tiebreaker here, because I think Zen and Vatira are both phenomenal players.
Yeah, it's kind of hard to argue. It just sucks for Zen, you know. Just I feel like to keep the parallel going. First Killer doesn't have the teammates. Zen doesn't have the teammates because they're all already formed on the best team in the region. A Tau being, I feel like, the equivalent of um, just any of the teammates that are on our NRG. So he's incapable of getting that demon of a teammate, or whoever else who was Drowley at the time, and now I feel like they could have put just Juicy at some point, but Carmine Corp in their infinite wisdom just sniping Juicy with no tryouts, just saying, "Hey, it's gonna work," and guess what?
It works.
God damn it, it's working. Holy bright sun. I'm getting an ad. It's just the
But like you know who hasn't picked up a team that I've seen is Yujin. Like what happened to Yujin? He looked phenomenal last season, I thought.
yeah, everyone believes he has like hero ball only. Like that's the only mode he knows is hero ball, and he'll just selfishly just cut plays or ruin plays and end plays early. Was he on Vitality? Or the what is it?
Vitality.
Well,
I don't know the one that looks like
what team is he on?
Isn't.
I can't remember. What roster is he on? I just know they're not doing good. Isn't he with Radosin?
I'm looking.
It's
Yujin
Radosin,
currently plays for Gentle Bench.
That's what it is. Gentle Bench. It was a bench team.
Yeah, it's Mitzer, Radosin, and Yujin, who did decently well, and then they didn't.
Yeah, the first one they were pretty good, and then everything after that was but yeah, it's just it's hard to say. Like I feel bad for Vitality, or I feel bad for Zen, but also at the same time, seeing the French lose is fun.
It is indeed.
But I will say, it took 3 French All-Stars to take down 1 NRG.
It did. But
they couldn't have just stayed in the net for the last 11 seconds of the game. Goddamn game 6.
Well, here we are. Let's not talk about that too much. I'm going to get disappointed. We have our episode next week will be our major preview. Like I mentioned earlier, that'll be our last episode before the event starts, which we'll be in person for. So looking forward to meeting and seeing all of you there and bringing you more content. But is there anything else that you wanted to mention about power rankings, about the major, about the open, about anything before we wrap up?
If you see us at the major, come get a sticker.
Oh yeah, we got the whole bag right here.
Don't spoil. Oh, you're spoiling it. I'm just kidding.
But with that, we'd like to thank you all so much for listening. We'd like to remind everyone that this podcast is proudly brought to you by our name level supporters on Patreon, Alyssa B. Please remember to rate us 5 stars wherever you listen to podcasts. Share the show. Tell a friend. It all helps us grow our audience and improve the show. Remember to follow us on Twitter, Instagram, Blue Sky, TikTok, and Twitch, which we're currently live recording on right now. And come join our Discord. Make sure to support us by checking out our merch store and our Patreon. This is how we fund the show and do giveaways in the future. All of these links and more can be found on our website at boostoverball.com. And from us here on the show, as always, remember to choose Boost over Ball. See ya!
Thank you for listening to the Boost Over Ball podcast. Make sure to check out our website, boostoverball.com.